Welcome, welcome. What's up, everybody? Here, Plug Talk Sports again. Me, Jonko Don't Stop, here with Brandon. You know, unfortunately, we're not gonna have Daniel today, but that's okay. But welcome to episode 195. 200 is right around the corner. Can't wait to celebrate. So, Brandon, before we get started, anything new? Anything you want to say?
Anything new that I want to say? I'm pretty sure we're going to talk a little bit in depth, but I'm doing pretty bad, man. I saw Quinn Ewers play football yesterday, so I'm doing pretty bad right now. And again, I know we're going to talk about it in this upcoming segment, but besides that, that's just a little teaser of how I'm feeling right now.
Bro, I could just imagine, bro. I got home from vacation yesterday at 1 when the game started. So I was able to see everything, and man, bro, that first drive was just like we're gonna get into it now, but damn, bro, that was just unfortunate. For me, bro, I came back from vacation. Me and Daniel were at Marco Island. Shout out to Daniel's dad, Armin. Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Armin! If you're listening. Um, Anything else? Oh, I think I will say this. Tom Brady was he got interviewed by Joey, I think Joe Klatt, and on his podcast, and and shockingly enough, I didn't. People were sending me this, like 10 people sent it to me. Tom Brady was wearing a One Piece shirt, and that's it. That made my day. The Go quarterback, the greatest of all time, and the greatest anime of all time, all in one podcast, bro. Hey.
But the question is, did he watch the? Does he watch the show? Because I know he's got kids. I don't know. Maybe it's like someone else introduced in the house.
Just the respect for him to wear it, and it was the scene from Sabayoti. For you guys that don't know, that is epic. But we're not gonna get into that now. If you want to hear me, if you want to talk to me about it, then you can message me on my socials. You already know what it is. But heading into this first topic, bro, NFL preseason week 1, baby. And guess what? It was very eventful. Good for me. Unfortunate for others. But Brandon, I'm gonna let you start just because we're from the 305. We're gonna go.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So Miami Dolphins starting off on the road preseason against the Chicago Bears in a tie, 24-24. And honestly, Jonka, I was looking at this game, watching it. Tua's first drive was good, 5 and 6 in completions. He got himself out of the way, but the offense in the entire first half can't finish. Yeah. I kid you not. I remember looking at Zach Wilson with I don't know how many times, first and goal, second and goal, third and goal, fourth and goal, and he freezes. If I showed you the BYU Pro Day highlight reel of Zach Wilson and then showed you where you got guys on out routes, where he's underthrowing tight ends that are wide open towards the end zone, you would be losing your mind. Did he had a serious arm injury? Is he mentally okay? I have to tell you right now, he's not him at backup. I think this game puts more stress on me right now about the backup position for the Miami Dolphins. To give you an idea of both quarterbacks, and again, this is being Zach Wilson as well as Quinn Ewers. I think it was 5 completions throughout the entire day. And then on top of that, the crazy thing about it too, defensively though, what I noticed though, and these are third string, fourth string guys, Jonka.
Yeah.
The running back room, solid. So solid. Now, of course, we do have a big injury as well with Alexander Madison being out for the season with a neck injury. And for those who saw it live, he bounced off that neck real bad. So that's, prayers out to him. Of course, hopefully a speedy recovery. But Ollie Gordon, a steal out of the 7th round, huge.
He's my guy. I wanted him.
Mm-hmm. Huge. Talking about 8 carries, 3 yards. The longest being a 21-yarder. And potentially could have had the game-winning touchdown. Dolphins had a last-minute try. A little miracle in Miami Magic. Didn't really happen. But Devon Achane, and this is what really, makes me kind of excited about Devon, especially if you're a fantasy football owner of him for the drafts. 3 carries, 22 yards, 7.3 average yards per carry. Now, this is a guy who had the most touches in 2024 for the Miami Dolphins, who looks to be more of the biggest usage guy for this team. I loved exactly his stats. I love what they were showing in that first drive. Taj Washington, who was out the entire rookie season last year for him, kid out of Southern Cal, he comes in really the best receiving core. It's going to be him, and again, this is preseason wise, but probably going to be him, Nick Westbrook, Ikeen, and maybe Malik Washington if they don't put him too much right now going on special teams. But Taj Washington, 53 yards, average 17 per reception. So the Dolphins offense, I like. The defense, I'm not a big fan about. And on top of that, the O line. I mean, there's one clip. I don't remember the offensive member's name in the trenches, but I think it was the left tackle at one point. He is basically right there with Quinn Ewers. He does one of these and it falls on his ass. Kid you not. And Quinn is like running to his right, ends up getting pushed from behind, fumbles the ball right there, and then Chicago takes advantage of it, scores a touchdown the following drive. Now that is the most Dolphin thing I've ever seen in my life, Jonka. When you think that you have a game under control where the offense is controlling possession game, which they did the entire first quarter, the O-line screws it up, forces the quarterback in a terrible situation, and the defense is going to be playing with short field. So this was a very unfortunate Dolphin game. Weird to end in a tie, though. But I don't know if you have any takes on this specific game. What I'll tell you one thing, though, not the best O-line or secondary performance.
I mean, I was really impressed by obviously, how do I say this? I'm just trying to say this as nicely as possible. Everything that I expected, besides Ollie Gordon, because I knew he was going to be good. No matter what.
Yeah.
But it just felt like that first drive by Tua. It was kind of being, I don't know, and I wouldn't say forced, but it was just like quick pass, quick pass, quick pass. And when they got to the red zone, they just started running it, and they just couldn't get anywhere. And that's where they kind of stopped. They stopped like passing the ball, which is what they got. That's just what got there in the first place. And I don't know, the play calling was kind of eh. Now, yes, the O line was bad. I don't understand what was going on there. And obviously the rookie Joanna Savayanea wasn't playing, and obviously the starters weren't playing either. So I'm not gonna bash them too much, but for that to be your depth is kind of alarming in how the Dolphins, I'd say, offseason has been going with all these injuries. They cannot afford their O line, especially that O line, to protect Tua, to hopefully have a good season, to go down. So if I'm Mike McDaniel, I would tell I would say to his staff, hey, I would put some extra hours in with the offensive lineman, and maybe give him some more technique, maybe get back in the weight room, do something, just so that if one person goes down, you can have somebody to come in and fill it up. That's the only way I can see. I'm gonna say for the season, because I don't know. I'm not expecting too much from the Dolphins this season, but I am impressed by Taj Washington, obviously Malik and Ollie Gordon. Quinn Ewers did not impress me. Zach Wilson doing Zach Wilson things, but it just seems like this team is like, I don't know, man, like on a spiral. What's his name? Jalen Waddle got injured. That's why he didn't play. He had a little bug. Like, I
Yeah,
guess, like,
but I don't think it's going to be that serious, though, for his injury, though. You know what I mean?
I hope not. Listen,
Yeah.
it's not. I hope not, because we did the same thing last year, bro. I Waddle's my guy, but I can't, bro.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't do that. But, I mean, John, as you said before with injuries, I do also want to emphasize, though, again, Alexander Madison on injured reserve list now after a season-ending neck injury. Ended up having some running back moves today. Mike Boone, who's been more or less a kind of a journeyman in the NFL through 7 seasons, used to play for the Carolina Panthers as well as Houston Texans, just 2 teams that has been on his trail. And then Aaron Shamklin, which, again, these are going to be 2 names I don't really think you're going to see a lot. This is going to be just straight up training camp, fighting for that 53-man roster. I don't see a lot of this coming out from the running back room. I think honestly at this point, and also I don't know if you notice, but Ollie Gordon in the number 31 jersey, a little too soon in my honest opinion. But this could be his room to win, at least being the second back on the depth chart behind HN. I like Ollie Gordon coming in over Jalen Wright. I really do like that in this running back room. I don't know about you, Jonka. I see that coming up after, especially this good start in this first preseason game for him.
The only question I see is like even those pickups, they kind of like they're kind of odd to me. Like, what's it like? Why haven't they gone for like a guy like Dalvin Cook? You know, he is. I think he's from. I don't quote me on this, but I think he is from South Florida, if I'm correct. He did
Yep.
attend FSU.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big guy. He's a big back. He has experience. I don't know why they don't pick him up and use him on those goal line situations where you can't, like, if you're gonna have a bad line, you need somebody that's gonna push the line a little bit more. You know, I don't think the Dolphins have that guy besides Ollie Gordon, but he's a rookie, so I'm not expecting him to go to do that in year one.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're expecting. And then Alec Ingold, like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
and again,
not.
that's a fullback position, though. You know what I mean?
It,
So it's him
but
and no
then the
one
Dolphins have
else.
to like they gotta find the scraps, bro. You gotta make what you have, and especially on the DB side, like I don't even understand. Like that's just like another story. Man, the
But it's
Dolphins are just like I don't even, bro. They're like the genie
but
in the bottle. They
it's
can't get out.
yeah, but I'm also thinking it's just like the different play calling of it though. They don't need a power back. You know, the one thing I noticed about Madison before he got hurt, and again, this guy was phenomenal through this first preseason game. Rushing wise, we're talking about well, actually kind of 8 yards. His impact felt bigger than that though. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
what though, 2 targets in this game for Madison, 3 targets for Ollie Gordon. And again, this is the passing wise targeted.
Mhm.
And then you also look down the line here. This is going to be similar to what we saw last year when I was expecting Mike McDaniels and the coaching staff to push this through. This is going to be a receiving running back room. I don't think there's going to be any power back pickups. I don't think there's going to be a need for that, unfortunately, because I feel like every single room in the NFL needs someone that can just like ram right through nose tackle. But besides that, I mean, this just might be what the Dolphins are expected to be classified as, just a highly receiving team from running back, tight end to receiver more.
Well, tight end.
Tight end, depending on who he's even the tight end. Tanner Connor had a few yards, but I mean, actually, Darren Waller was on the sideline, not in
Bro,
pads, but he was on the sideline.
I don't get it, bro. We told you this weeks ago, bro. What is wrong with it? Why pick him up, sign him, and he's not playing?
Yeah. And you have John Smith. You know what's the worst part about it, too? Because I was watching the Steelers preseason game. And on top of John Smith, I know they got this kid Washington out of Georgia. That was like, again, if you watch SEC football, Washington Brock Bowers was like the death threat of the SEC defenses. They were so dominant. I mean, if Washington is not a starter in some way, I mean, hell, he could play right tackle if he wanted to tomorrow. That's how big Washington is. And again, I know there's a lot of other games in preseason. Obviously, on top of the Dolphins one, again, that 24-24 outcome, the Patriots looked phenomenal. Now, again, is it too early to tell against the Commanders team where, third string, second strings? But Jonka, take it away with that one because, I mean, you might be right about a few things here, man.
What I've been saying, bro, since the draft, we all know my boy Travion Henderson, second round pick, baby. Let's go. 100-yard kickoff return for his first ever NFL possession, bro. That's crazy. Let's put that on a stone in the writing or on Tom Brady's statue that just got unveiled that same day. I don't know if it was the magic in the air that day, but we blew the Commanders out of the water 48-18. I think Drake May, besides that fumble, which was a miscommunication between Will Campbell and the other, I think it was Jared Wilson, the center. It was like a kind of like a mix up there. That's why it was basically like a sack, and Drake May had nothing to do there. Just either take the sack or tried to throw the ball away and ended up being a fumble. But besides that, he came right back and scored an easy rushing touchdown. And then Will Campbell had a spectacular like I don't even know if you saw that run, bro. It was like a 15-yard run for Henderson, and then this guy Campbell, bro, he just pancaked this guy, bro. He ran him,
Yes.
bro.
He
I'm
was
loving that. If he could solidify the left side and protect Drake May's blind side, this is going to be a very, very interesting season for me. Because if you give Drake May time and make him create plays with Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins and everybody else that was not playing that day, and those guys have the experience, and from what I've been hearing, Stephon Diggs is most likely going to be wide receiver 1. Why wouldn't he be, first of all? Apparently,
of
the
course.
ACL doesn't even look like it even happened. I think we might make some noise this year. We have the second easiest schedule in the league. I'm not saying much. I'm saying we got this boy
Hey,
Efton Chisholm, which might be the next Cooper Cup, who did come out of Eastern Washington at the same time, and he broke Cooper Cup's record in Eastern Washington. So we might have our next Cooper Cup.
mind you, preseason, game 1 of
Yeah.
preseason.
Ramondre Stevenson lost a couple pounds. He looks lean, ready to go. Hopefully he doesn't fumble. I think this is his year. If he continues with the fumbling and the bad decisions, I think he's cut. And we're gonna look for a new running back, a new big back in this coming draft. But overall, I'm excited. Everybody's doing good. We saw the defense looked legit. I mean, it is again preseason, and it is third stringers and fourth stringers, but all that matters is experience. The best players weren't on the field, but at least we got to see Will Campbell basically dominate the line like he was supposed to against the lower tier talent. Hey, that's all that matters to me. Protect Drake May's blind side is the only job he should be focusing on. Travion Henderson, like you said with the Dolphins, Travion Henderson can block. If you guys haven't seen it, everybody watching and listening to me, go and look at Travion Henderson on YouTube. Look at his blocking. The guy is a bulldozer. He might be small and he might be fast, but this guy he's probably, I think I heard, one of the best run blocking running backs in college when he was playing. I'm excited. If you can get an extra blocker, it's perfectly for me. Because and so does Ramondre Stevenson can also block. And then you got Austin Hooper, Jaheim Bell, and Hunter Henry, who can also block as tight ends. We got blockers galore, and you know what that means. We all know what that means. You got open holes that you can run. Control the time, control the line of scrimmage. Hey, and Mike Vrabel got that on lockdown, baby. Oh, hey, I'm telling you right now, AFC better watch out, guys. Don't come at me, bro.
It'll be a good running team. It'll be a good running team for sure.
Buffalo Bills better watch out, baby.
And actually, funny enough, because I wanted to talk about that too. Speaking of the Bills, they lost 34-25 at home against the Giants again preseason. But I don't know about you. There's a few names I like to just speed around because I know we can't be on the topic specifically for long. Jackson Dart, 154 yards, a touchdown pass as well, 12 and 19 completion-wise. I mean, solid as it gets there. Between him, Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston, and also Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I know we always talk jokes about this New York Giants quarterback room. This was the most accurate room throughout this entire first week of the preseason. We're talking about Russell Wilson, 6 of 7. Winston, 7-11. 10 of 14 from DeVito, the kid out of, basically that New York tri-state area, dominating that one. And then you also have the Steelers coming in, beating out the Jaguars. Somehow, some way, Cam Little, the Jaguars kicker, hits a 70-yard field goal, NFL record that will never count, unfortunately, because it's preseason. And then on top of that, because sticking with the quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson shows out. The former Dolphin. He looks like, wild card weekend against the Buffalo Bills, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns on that one. Jonka, I know you have some thoughts about Skylar.
it's just so fun, bro. You see when a guy comes out of a toxic relationship, bro.
Okay.
He gets his new girl, bro. He's looking spiffy, new clothes, new everything. Now he's looking good. He's got that confidence now. Now we see what the problem is. The problem isn't Skyler. The problem is the Dolphins itself.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Might just be O line. I saw that Seattle Week 3 game last year. That was not anyone's fault but the O line. But going through, if you don't mind, I just want to go through some of these games though, because the other one I do want to talk about as well, the Saints Chargers game. I
Oh, okay.
That was hellfire.
Yeah.
Turnover on turnover on turnover on turnover, and somehow, some way, Spencer Rattler was the worst part of this game.
Yeah.
I really thought that Tyler Show, I might be butchering that last name, former
Like a
Louisville
shove or a
quarterback.
shove. I don't even know what.
Show, whatever it is, he looks to be QB1 right now for New Orleans. 15, 22, 165 yards and a touchdown and an interception. I will put that as well. But that was one of my biggest shocks, really, from this preseason week 1. The one thing I wasn't really shocked about was the Bengals defense. I wish the other Brandon was here I can tell him that, hey, the ones, they're not the ones in Cincinnati. So that doesn't look like a good Joe Burrow season, if you ask me.
It's terrible in Cincinnati right now, especially that they're still dealing with that situation with Trey Hendrickson. He hasn't been signed. They lost Jermaine Burton, their leading tackler. Bro, I mean, they did sign Shamar Stewart finally after all that drama, him supposedly going back to Texas A&M and reclassifying for next drafts. That was drama filled, bro, and they were able to get it done. But the Bengals, shout out to Brandon, bro. Like, I'm sorry, like that's not gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I will say though, I'm gonna put the over on the points on every on the total point for every Bengals game because I know Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Chase are gonna go off. Now, the thing is, can they stop the other team from scoring? Which I think we're gonna see some legendary shootouts, bro, with this Bengals team this year.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an
And
entertaining 7-win team.
I also wanted to put before we change the subject. I think I have to say this. I'm kind of like low key pissed off about this. I kind of started a Twitter war or X war.
Oh,
It's divided. It's divided. But
okay.
I just feel that Cam Ward and the Titans, or specifically Cam Ward, has not been getting enough coverage or enough respect. And the reason I say this is because if he were to have been, if let's say he gets first overall pick, right? Like he just did, but with Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, the coverage would be unlimited. This guy would be looked at as a god.
You
But
sure that isn't just because it's the Tennessee Titans?
No, I was saying because of the college that he graduated from, being the University of Miami, the media is treating us still like we're in the 80s, bro, the 90s. They're treating us like we're whatever, bro. It's the same BS every time. Because you cannot tell me otherwise. Everybody listening, if he would have been the first overall pick from Alabama or whatever other SEC school or top school you think about, he would have been all over the news, all over the every headline, bro. These people talk about Shador Sanders more than Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Cam Ward was the first overall pick, bro. They talk about Bryce Young over Cam Ward as the number 1 pick, and they're both number 1 picks. It doesn't make one's from Alabama and one's from Miami. Yet one obviously has more talent than the other. Cam Ward to me is a better quarterback than Bryce Young.
Well, one's from a Big 12 team that couldn't even win a bowl game. So
hey. They're both first overall picks. One from Miami, one from Alabama. One got a bunch of coverage. One is not even getting hardly anything. One is being outshadowed or out like covered by a 5th rounder who fell because he has attitude problems and he can't commit. And you know what I'm talking about with Shador, all that drama.
Yeah,
like I don't know what your opinion is, but I'm kind of ticked off about it because if Carson Beck gets first somehow ends up being first overall pick this year magically, I don't think it's gonna happen. But let's say he gets first overall pick And again, the media does not just treats him like it's a whatever quarterback again, bro. Nah, there's gonna have to be some problems, bro. There's gonna have to be
Yeah.
some investigations going on because every Miami pick, bro, is a situation from God. I swear to God, I understand.
Yeah, and again, on top of that, again, Cam Ward 5-8 for the day in his really first action as a Tennessee Titan in a loss 29-7 against Tampa Bay. 67 yards. And again, no sacks, no
Yeah.
interceptions. Tennessee overall horrible in that game for Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle, both combining for 3 interceptions throughout the day.
Yeah, that
So
QB
not
room is not good.
that is not
He
good.
literally
But
played Cam for like a drive and a half, and that's it. Took him out.
yeah, but good thing you did say that because Jonka, I do want to take the wheel here for this AP poll. Coaches Preseason AP poll just came out. Talk about former Hurricanes. We got Hurricanes involvement in this one, and this is a big shock to me though, because John, I'm gonna go from 25-1 here. Boise State at number 25 lost a lot of seniors. Somehow they stay in there. Tennessee, a playoff team, will come in now at number 24. Texas Tech, one of 3 Texas teams to be in this top 25 poll. Iowa State, the Cyclones at 22. Ole Miss Rebels at 21. No Jackson Dart for that program. Indiana at 20. Texas A&M at 19. Oklahoma, who barely got themselves to 6 wins, somehow gets a number 18 slot. Kansas State at 17. SMU, one of the few ACC teams in this top 25 at 16. 15, the Florida Gators. 14, Michigan. 13, South Carolina. Illinois at 12. That was a big shock for me out of the Big Ten. Arizona State at 11. And I'm going to just go quickly through this top 10. But the Hurricanes, who finished last year in the AP poll at 18, at number 10 preseason. A lot of graduating class guys gone, good transfer portal, good recruitment. Before I go through 9 through 1, Jocko, I want you to talk a little bit about this Hurricanes team at 10. Do you think this is, again, preseason, so things will happen, but is this the right call by the committee, or rather the AP, Associated Press?
I think it's not a bad placement, but do I think because I'm gonna put I know if you guys don't know me, as much as I love my team, I'm like I say it as it is. I don't sugarcoat things. If my team is bad, it's bad. If it's good, whatever. Um 10, to be honest, I don't think we should be over SMU. SMU did make the ACC championship game. I understand like they lost we lost people, they lost people. We yes, we do out recruit them. We do have better, portal additions and all that stuff, but if this was comparing from the last year to this year, then I would say SMU should be ahead of Miami. Like Clemson is at number 4. I can take that. It's just like Michigan. Michigan did beat Ohio State in that bowl game or in that final. Like I don't know how they're at 14.
Yep. And barely a
Florida,
ranked team. Barely a ranked team at the end of the
yeah.
year.
South Carolina, I think should be higher.
Yep.
Um, Boise State, I don't even know why they're there. I think they literally their star player is gone. Like they won't have anybody else.
Yep.
Louisville, I think Louisville should be up there. To be honest,
Mm.
Texas A&M to me should be higher. Um, but yeah, but talk about Miami, bro. We do have Carson Beck. For people that don't know, I think he's getting a little bit too much hate, but forget about the drama with his ex and Cavender twins or whatever. He did have one of the worst all O lines. I know it's Georgia. I understand it's Georgia. They're big recruiting, but Georgia did have one of the worst O lines in recent years. They really couldn't protect Carson Beck. Carson Beck did lose Lad McConkey and Brock Bowers, which are 2 crazy additions, and we see what they're doing right now in the NFL. I think Georgia was one of the leading teams in drops last season, especially one of them being the former Kane, Colby Young. So all those drops did kind of lead to that situation being kind of like, all right, Carson Beck, do we go to the draft or do you go one more year? I think he was smart to do one more year and do the same thing that Cam Ward did and try to improve his draft stock. Miami having one of the best O lines in the country. They need to improve the defensive line a tad bit more. They didn't make a crazy amount of additions on the DBs with that defense. They got a new defensive coordinator in Corey Heatherman from, if I remember, from Minnesota.
Yes.
Apparently, he's very good. He's very hands on. Very like he'll get in your face. He'll call you out. Accountability. I think that's what this team needs is accountability. To be honest, if that defense can fix their situation, if that offense, I'm not expecting that offense to be crazy from last year because we lost a lot of pieces. I'm not gonna lie. Our, I can see us making the ACC championship. I could. At the same time, we did talk about this like a couple weeks ago with everybody. Winning that Notre Dame game and Florida game matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time because those are non-conference games. It won't affect your conference placement. If you win the conference, you make the playoff.
Yeah.
But if you somehow drop a game, maybe Louisville or SMU, right? Or maybe that one of the last two games with Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, one of those, maybe you lose 3 games. Who knows, right? Your ranking is going to be kind of affected. So I think if 10, I think 10, I can understand why they put it 10. Honestly, I'm going to put it right there. I'm not going to say any more, but I think 10 is okay. But it might be a tiny bit high. A tiny bit high.
Yeah, there is a few on this list where it's like, are we sure that they're this numbered team on this poll? Again, preseason poll, obviously with AP, we're talking about. And again, as mentioned before, from the 25 through 10, Canes at 10, also the Florida Gators at 15, going from 9 to 1. And this is the intriguing part to me because 10 of the top 25 in AP are SEC teams. LSU at number 9. Number 8, Alabama, who just announced recently Ty Simpson will open the season as their starting quarterback.
Yep.
Then you also have Oregon, the Ducks going at 7. Notre Dame, who's going to be playing the Canes August 30th to open up the season at Hard Rock Stadium. Obviously, electric rivalry. And we remember the last time Notre Dame was in Miami.
I was there.
Yep. And the big Brady interception. Hopefully they can recreate that. But yes, the Canes will have a top 10 matchup to open up the season for the first time since, I believe, 2004, 2005. Georgia at number 5. Clemson at number 4, the ACC champs of last year. And the top 3, which I just find it's incredible. It's ridiculous, but it's incredible. Ohio State at 3, Penn State at 2, Texas, the Longhorns with Archie Manning at number 1. This means we'll have a top 3 matchup to open up the season for week 1 of college football between Texas and Ohio State. And regarding the Hurricanes, if you, again, hypothetically, they don't need to, beat Florida. They don't need to beat Notre Dame, as you said, to go on to, compete in the ACC championship game in conference play. But let's say Texas, Ohio State, they kill each other off early. One of them bounced out of the top 5, maybe. If Miami goes out of their way, gets right on the train early enough to beat off Notre Dame, that's a top 5 seed, at least in my book, over Georgia for the Canes from 10 to maybe 5. Then you find out a way, again, should beat South Florida, should beat Bethune-Cookman. The team doesn't even leave the state of Florida until November when they have to play SMU on the road in Dallas. Yep. And maybe, and again, this will be a controversial game, maybe they beat out Florida for the second year in a row at Hard Rock. You're looking at a potential early on in the year, and again, with Cam Ward returning, this might be the same story with Carson Beck, a top 5, top 4 team midway through the regular season. And you just got to worry about the ACC matchups. But again, that's your AP poll right there. That's my take on the Hurricanes, at least. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. But
I have a problem with the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Ohio State not number 1? Like, let's all be honest here.
Well, Will Howard left. That's
sport, bro. Does the national champion not start at number 1 the very next year?
There's a few.
Like, they still have great, crazy receivers. Jeremiah Smith is still on the team. You could obviously past this year, you don't really need a star-studded quarterback because Will Howard was a mediocre ass quarterback. Excuse my French, but still, like, what are we talking about? Arch Manning, yes, he has the hype, but he hasn't really shown. He hasn't really played enough to like really see like okay, this guy is like all right, whoa,
Yeah.
he can carry Texas.
Yeah. And my biggest
Penn
thing for that
State,
one too, I mean,
Drew
my
Aller. I don't believe in Drew Aller. I don't believe in Drew Aller. They lost
well,
Abdul Carter.
well, they took Notre Dame to the. I mean, they took them right there in the Orange Bowl, though. I mean, that should have been Penn State's game.
But do you think Drew Aller and losing Abdul Carter on their defense is not going to hinder them a little bit?
I think it will hinder them, but at the same time, do I believe that they're a top 5 team? Yes, I do believe Penn State is a top 5 team in college football today. And that's me personally. I love Drew Aller. I think that's going to be, a guy you have to say, teams from the NFL are going to look at him week by week. There's no doubt about that. But I was going to mention, though, Jonka, the Texas piece to it. I think the returners for Sarkisian and his team, I think that's the main thing that AP with the Associated Press was really looking at. Because we look at Ohio State, that too as well. But it's not only Will Howard, it's Henderson. It's, guys on the running back room, guys defensively, the linebackers. I forgot the guy's name, number 33, who basically had that game-winning touchdown against Texas in the semifinal when Texas was on a 4th and goal. I still don't believe that either. That was an insane game. But yeah, I mean, I really do like the AP poll putting Texas ahead of Ohio State, though. I think that this Texas team should have won the SEC last year. Georgia had no reason to have that game go to overtime or wherever, how close it was, where they had the backup working it. And another thing, too, with Georgia, I mean, that backup quarterback we saw in the SEC game, he's the starter now. This is going to be a messy year for the Bulldogs. I really see this being a messy year for them. I think, honestly, I thought LSU was going to be better than Georgia in the rankings. I don't know if that's a hot take with Nuttmeyer coming back, but I really thought LSU was going to be better than 9.
I think Georgia's problem, I mean, besides them winning national championships a couple years ago, it just feels like, yes, they've had the talent, but like they just can't find that quarterback. They just somehow can't find a quarterback. It's all because all they focus on is the O-line, the D-line, and the running backs, and then maybe the tight ends. And that's basically it. Like that game, like I don't remember that national championship with TCU and Georgia.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the Georgia we're kind of anticipating to see. But from what we've seen from that point on, we haven't really seen that same thing. So I'm not, bro. I don't think Georgia makes it to the playoffs.
Really? Okay, so again, preseason. Or you don't even think they're a playoff team. You think the SEC kills them.
I think Alabama, LSU, Texas beats Georgia. I think Florida could be Georgia, to be honest. South Carolina could be Georgia. Kentucky could be Georgia. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Ole Miss. I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm not saying that you're. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're not saying that they're going to lose every game of the year or whatever. But
the rest of the conference has caught up to Georgia, and I just think Georgia hasn't really been able to keep up with these other teams and the QB play, which is why I think they're not going to make the playoffs. Yes, 5 is okay for right now, but the thing is, like, they were the only reason they were in that game last year against Alabama with that shootout and that crazy comeback was because Carson Wentz. Look, Carson Beck, my bad, Carson Wentz. Yeah, like it's hard to see them in the playoffs this year. So I can see I can see some other teams sneaking in. I can see South Carolina sneaking in, to be honest.
Absolutely. They nearly did last year. And not a single soul thought they even get close to like even a bowl game.
Bro, they almost upset Alabama.
Yeah.
Bro, I was crazy for that game. Lenore Sellers is for real, guys.
Yeah. Also, what I would say too, because I don't know if anyone's seen this on Netflix yet, any given Saturday, watch through all 7 episodes. South Carolina has been the team of the entire series. It's honestly definitely worth the watch, though. It's definitely worth the watch. Florida only, yeah. But, I mean, Florida only got 8 episodes in that entire series. 8 episodes, So.
Oh, yeah, bro. Graham Mertz, bro. Shout out to him, baby. Hey.
He should have never started that week 1. He should have never started that week game.
bro. He was like, "I'm so confident we're gonna go in and beat Miami in the swamp, bro." When he said that, I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed.
If
And then when
anyone,
he just throws he throws a like a what's it called? He drops the goose egg this past weekend with 3 interceptions.
yeah, eh, more interception than yards, I think.
Damn,
So yeah, shout out Graham. He'll pick himself up. He'll pick himself up. But Jonka, let's go into this next topic. I'm gonna let you because this is, I mean, again, the Christmas slate is here, man. What are we looking at here?
bro. I don't know what the league is doing with these Christmas Day games, bro. Like, have they quit on life? Like, no, like I'm dead ass. Like, have they quit trying to like I don't even know create like situations? I feel like back in the day, bro, there were stories, there were like moments that you waited to see, bro. Matchups,
No, but these
drama.
are there's some matchups in this.
Like,
Okay, you know what?
come on,
No, okay.
not putting the Lakers and the Mavericks together, bro.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis and Kyrie come back and they play Luca and LeBron James.
yeah.
Like,
Well, the last
that's
time that
crazy
happened,
news.
Luca had 40-something points. You know what I mean? But I do like this
Just
one. For those who don't, but I again, there is a little bit of drama. But let me explain here, though. So Christmas Day schedule: Cleveland Cavaliers at New York. Obviously, New York always playing that noon game. The Spurs and Wembanyama taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think a Wemby Shea. I don't know how the MVP talks going to look like early on this year, but that's definitely a game to book for Christmas Day, midway through your dinner. Houston Rockets taking on Lakers. Obviously, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. This happened, I think, last time when Katie was on the
That's
Warriors. They played on
trash, bro.
Christmas. Hey, I mean, that's
That's
Rockets
trash.
Lakers, though. That's Rockets Lakers. That's like the best
Come
talent
on,
out
bro.
west. And then, okay, but like, hear me out, though. Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry hosting the Dallas Mavericks. And this will be Klay Thompson coming back to Golden State Christmas Day.
What's the point of going to see Klay Thompson, bro? He's the fourth string on that team, bro.
But
No
what
one's
if
gonna
he
care.
what if
Everyone's
he
gonna be
brings
focused
back
on
the
Cooper
clock?
Flag,
But what if he brings back the clock? And yes,
bro. I'd
Cooper
rather
Flag will
see
be playing on his
LeBron
first
James and
Christmas Day
Anthony
game.
Davis go at it on opposite teams, bro.
That
Luca
is
plays
true.
his former team with all that drama, bro. With that stimulus package that Adam Silver gave the Lakers and giving them Luca, bro. How
Yeah.
is that not the matchup? How are the Warriors not playing the Rockets? How is it the Clippers are not playing the Nuggets, bro?
You know what I
On
would
that,
have said
that
too?
7 game series, bro. Where is this? This is what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Come
But
on, bro. This is like they're spoon feeding this to you, bro, and you're dropping the egg, man.
no, but
Oh my
honestly,
god.
now that you even mentioned that too, what if it was a Miami Heat Warriors Christmas Day game? Again, the Heat haven't played on Christmas Day in a minute.
That's what I'm talking about,
That's another
bro.
thing too. And again, this is more like an NBA playoff type of matchup, type of deal. But yeah, last game of the night, Timberwolves at the Nuggets house in Denver. That's
Trash.
just gonna be.
That should have been Timberwolves Knicks.
I could see. I could see that. I could see that as a noon game on
Unfortunately,
Christmas Day.
they didn't include the Pacers because obviously Halliburton's is going to be out for the season. So
Yeah, totally
there was really
different
no
team.
point to put him in.
Yeah, and again, I think that's going to be a lot of time with these primetime games as the NBA schedule gets released later on this week. Like, for example, the Celtics, not even on Christmas Day playing this year for the first time since I think, like, 2015, 2016. So there's not much of a team without Jason Tatum. I mean, again, some additions here and there. But yeah, Christmas Day slate. I'm really excited, though, to see that Rockets Lakers one because this is a Rockets team that was second in the West throughout the regular season. You got a reloaded roster. Again, Kevin Durant, the best offensive player right now in the NBA outside of Joker. I like that pick for midway through Christmas Day. Most likely a 5 o'clock game for that one.
I would have liked to have seen the Warriors and the Rockets just because those two teams went crazy this past playoffs, and now KD's on the Rockets. KD goes back to play against Steph, bro. Brandon, they're dropping the ball on this, bro. Like, who's the scheduling, bro? Who's doing this? They need to be fired, questioned. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not understanding what is like what is this, bro? I'm not, bro. This is giving me headaches, bro. Like,
Yeah. No, it
why are they
definitely
doing
is
this?
odd though. Yeah, it definitely is odd. Again, I do love like player matchup wise, but storyline, you're right though. They did miss some steps. They
I
did
don't
miss
think
some
the player.
steps.
I don't think the how do you say the audience or the people want to see the matchups. I think they would
Well,
rather watch the storyline. Yeah,
yeah.
sure. Watching Chet versus um Wemby is nice,
hmm
but
And then on
like
top of that, Donovan Mitchell against Jalen Brunson. Actually, you know what I would have also went out of the way for? And this is a little bit like, maybe they're not good this year. Maybe it was just like, they made the playoffs out, whatever. But if
Orlando
you had
Magic.
I like that. I don't know, was the last, I can't even tell you a game that Orlando has played on Christmas Day. I can't even tell you which day that was, what year. But I was going to say, if you have Detroit hosting, and again, I know it's, well, you know what, let me switch that because I don't want to say the Knicks on the road on Christmas Day. The Knicks hosting Detroit Christmas Day. Because those games were electric. And those teams get at it every single time they face each other. So I would have liked that too.
I like that matchup, but I think I would have liked to see Detroit and the Magic play.
Yeah.
Two young teams that are on the come up with young stars coming. I think it would be a really nice Kate Cunningham versus Paolo, bro. Ron Holland versus Franz.
Oh
Hey,
my gosh. No, I mean, have you seen the Orlando
that would
Magic
be
jerseys?
disgusting, bro. Oh
Dude,
yeah,
the Magic rebrand, golden.
yeah.
Golden.
No,
You don't like
goaded.
it?
I'm not
Bro,
a
you don't like
fan.
the jerseys and stuff?
I'm not a fan. Not I like the Tinkerbell thing they had before, bro.
Oh my gosh, dude. They went back to the old school and like the bold font though. The font is insane. I nearly drove to Orlando to the team store myself, 3 hours. All right. I'm willing to make that trip. Now, I wouldn't get a Paulo jersey. Probably could be like a sicko and get Desmond Bain or something. But I'm telling you though, that is a good jersey. Either way, we're getting off topic here. Jonka, this is I need you to explain this one. I feel like you have more context about this than I do. Because when I saw this, I had to do my own research about it because I didn't believe this is a real thing. But this is an actual real thing.
It's a real thing. It's a really big thing right now for some reason. Even on betting sites, bro, people are betting on the colors, on the size. I don't even know why this is even a topic because we're supposed to be talking about sports, but
Yeah.
it's related to it. So we're just gonna talk about it for everybody that doesn't know. The WNBA is dealing with this current situation where people are sneaking in sexual toys, or I'm not gonna say what it is on stream.
Yeah.
Sexual toys onto the court, and during games, during timeouts, and it's causing a huge buzz. And to me, it's inappropriate. I don't even know why it's a thing. To me, it's kind of like disrespectful to the girls that are playing on the court, and even to everybody, even every woman in the stadium should not have to be seeing that, especially during just when they're just trying to enjoy their leisure time and watch a basketball game. I don't know where this started coming up from, to be honest, but like it's the most awkward thing. And now sports betting apps are just trying to guess the color. They're betting on the color, the size, the length, the girth. It's the weirdest thing, bro. I don't understand why this is a thing. But like people have been arrested already. They found out they're trying to sneak them in no matter in their shoes, in their pockets, and jackets, inside diaper bags for babies, like any way possible, just to throw one on the court. Like guys, what are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
seriously, this is a real message. Like what are we what have we come to in this society that we're throwing sexual toys onto basketball courts during WNBA games? Like I get it. There's not much things going on in the WNBA game because Caitlin Clark is not playing right now. But besides that, why are we doing that, bro? Like swear to God. Like Brandon, please tell me your side because this is also giving me headaches, bro. Like why are
Yeah.
we
I mean, honestly, it's disgusting. It's not funny. Now, I don't know if Caitlin Clark being injured from the game is a
I know I
domino
just did it.
effect. But no, yeah. In a very serious note, it's very not funny though. Obviously, the game is growing through the WNBA, from draft class, from competitiveness, from college women's basketball going towards now it's professional. These are some of the best women that do their sport. You know, so to see that, and again, imagine this for the women's national team, for the U.S. soccer. You know, imagine this for the new league that they made. And again, I apologize for the specific name of the league. I don't recall on top of my head, but the women's league made recently for hockey, for Division One here in the U.S. So it makes no sense why people even go out of their way to do this. Now, I also saw one report that there is a group, not just a person or random, but a group that is taking responsibility of throwing these objects onto WNBA courts, and they're doing it across different cities. We've seen one in Minnesota, we've seen one in Indiana, we've seen this, and again, it's crazy because yes, betting apps are taking fun of it, but why is it being a repeated offense? Like, how are you in different cities? I'm guessing security's having like a lockdown type of like scenario where like we got to figure out how these people are bringing this stuff in, because if it's shoes, how do you fit that in a shoe? I'm sorry. You must have a Marshalls plus 15 size shoe to fit something like that. We're not even talking about what it is. But either way, though, it's very despicable. It's one of the weirdest controversies I think the WNBA will ever have, in my opinion. I mean, it's grotesque. That's the best way I can put it. It
Like
really
before
is.
we get into the last topic, because this topic is crazy as it is.
Yep.
Like I think it's hard for the security to even detect it, because for anybody that doesn't know, they're probably like silicone or whatever it is, and usually they have metal detectors, and they're not gonna really detect any of that. It's like you can sneak it in anywhere, bro, and it's like it's
Yep.
gonna be tough, because just to prevent this now, like to what lengths are they gonna try to prevent this from happening? Guys, listen, if you're one of the people that are watching and you did this, I doubt it is. Love you guys. But if you do it, don't do it. Don't ruin it for everybody, because at some point, if this gets too much, they're gonna start asking people to go put everything in through an X-ray machine, and it's gonna cause the whole world to go crazy. The whole world already thinks that USA is kind of a bunch of nut jobs because
Yep.
of this already. That's not like, let's cut it out, guys.
And this
This
isn't
is
even a
this is
sign of protest. Like, this isn't even like I get like when you have protesters, interrupting an NBA game, where like, okay, there's a purpose. What's the
like
purpose in this? Who's gaining from this?
like sometimes people throw. I know people throw like water bottles. They throw paper. Some they're like food trays or whatever, popcorn. But like, where did like why? Who came up with these toys to
Yeah.
same different subject now. We're going to different before we finish off the show, because this is like, wow, bro.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The last topic. Daniel was telling me about this, but it's kind of controversial. Like, me and Daniel had a little bit of a, how do you say, argument, but not like it was opinionated arguments. But referee Sean, excuse me if I butcher this, Ochuli was pushed back on the notion of favoritism towards Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know, it the I don't know about favoritism towards Patrick Mahomes, but it does seem weird that, like, in situations like when they really need a call, he's always pointing at the ref and just waiting for it to happen. And I think this kind of blew up after this past season, where there was a lot of controversial calls in favor of the Chiefs, which gave them notable wins with the Buccaneers, the Bengals, the Broncos, and I think the Raiders. And then obviously now the one with the Bills, with apparently that Josh Allen didn't cross that line, which basically gave the Chiefs back in the opportunity to take the lead. Well, we all know he crossed the line, but that's neither here nor there. I just think yes, he pushes back because I don't think it's gonna ruin his. If he agrees with it, then he's kind of going against himself and the other referees. So I don't think him saying that doesn't really matter to me. I expected him to say that, but I can see where the people are coming from when I just like what I just said with the situations that they do show favoritism towards Patrick Mahomes, who is the face of the NFL at this moment in time. Uh, I don't know what you think, Brandon, because I mean, I'm not because if I do say that there is favoritism, then there is saying that the referees are out to go help them and help them win games, and I don't think that's the case for all the referees. I I don't know. It's just the situation this past season kind of like threw more fuel to the fire, which basically brought out this referee to come out and make this statement. But I want to know your opinion.
Well, I got a weird opinion about it. I do want to first say that most likely you're gonna be, oh, I don't have any favorites at anybody. I mean, obviously for this guy Sean, he's not gonna be outspoken and be like, yeah, I love this player, I love this guy. But I'm gonna put it in an NBA perspective, big NBA perspective, because I don't know why, but during the NBA playoffs, everyone's very big on like, oh, this referee matchup with this team, they have X amount of record, X amount of technical fouls. When you look at a guy like Scott Foster,
I
right?
was about to say his name.
Scott Foster, the most notorious, aka the extender, most notorious referee in the game of basketball in the NBA, and you look at his track record, it's usually never about like what team he likes. It's about who does he hate.
Mm-hmm.
Who does he hate? Is it Chris Paul? Is it the Lakers? Is it someone specific? It's about who he hates. The Heat in one way. So I would actually make an argument about the NFL and referees where it's not about is Patrick Mahomes in favor, but do they like to see a pistol formation Baltimore Ravens team win out games? Do they like the idea that Josh Allen is just going to be throwing stuff around and, oh, well, he can do this because he's Josh Allen or whatever? Is it like the Chiefs? I'm not saying they're always level-headed. I'm not saying anything like that. But, it's hard to find, wrong pieces for them. But when you look at Cincinnati, there's always something going on. There's always someone most likely holding or something that's secondary. Baltimore, sometimes they do a lot of trickery and things like that. They get caught a lot offsides and not PI offensively. So the one thing I would say, Jonka, do the referees hate the matchups that they have with Kansas City in these, primetime divisional games over the favoritism? Because Kansas City, they didn't get penalized that much going against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, but they still got blown out against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what I would say to it. And again, in an NBA perspective, these referees, it's about usually, who gets penalized more. I'm looking at these top matchups. The Chiefs are more clean. That's the way I would see it.
Now, besides what I said about how this past season there are a lot of controversial calls, I'm gonna say this in a different angle, and saying years ago, gambling for sports wasn't really legal.
Shout out to Cleveland Guardians.
Yes. Now all of a sudden you got all these different sports betting apps, websites that you can place bets, and it's kind of sus now because now even the associations and the leagues are promoting these websites and apps, and now it's kind of making you look suspicious and saying with all these people putting in millions and millions of dollars across the world, now like manipulating the games in a certain favor can increase the amount of revenue that you make on the back end. Like let's be honest here. If there are games where Kansas City was the underdog and they were like legit a touchdown away from winning the game, you can make the argument because of how these leagues are promoting these websites that they can manipulate these referees to make certain calls and give Kansas City a call which gives them a first and goal or like a third and goal, and then all of a sudden, offsides on the defense, reset downs, or a 5 yard penalty, whatever. Like it's things like that that manipulate the game, which increases the odds of like upsets happening.
Yeah, but you can also argue on the other way around, though. Like, again, we've seen this in the NBA in the 90s, early 2000s, where a ref did it for his own
Mhm.
personal gain without the league even knowing, though. You know what I mean? And again, maybe this could be this Sean guy. Maybe it could be the you know, next guy taking advantage of the gambling. Again, shout out to the Cleveland Guardians, who their entire team apparently does gambling. But I'm telling you, though, Jonka, if it is true that there's favoritism to Patrick Mahomes, what happened in the Super Bowl? What happened against Tom Brady? He
I think
gets
I'm gonna say this about that. Based on what I stated beforehand about the controversial calls this past season, I think once they made the Super Bowl, I think the referees were told to back off and let us see what happens. I think that's what happened. And from what I think, the Kansas City didn't deserve to be in that Super Bowl. They were carried by controversial calls the entire year. You can look it up, go to all the past podcasts, and I was telling you for each one, yo, these referees are calling bogus ass calls that were in favor of the Chiefs, which gave them those wins, which basically manipulates their. I think they were the first overall seed, right? Or was it the Bills?
I believe it was I believe Buffalo. I could be wrong. But I mean again,
Bro,
Buffalo did host Baltimore last year. So that could
yeah,
be it could be.
that situation was the whole other thing.
Mark Andrews should have. I mean, again, that's a whole totally different situation. But Mark Andrews should have caught that damn ball. I mean, I still don't believe that Lamar's not in a Super Bowl yet.
Like, okay, just I'm gonna continue from what I was saying this for because we're a little bit over, but it doesn't matter
Yep.
because I'm running the show today.
Uh, okay.
If let's say the referees called a clean game, I'm not saying they're gonna call a clean game every game. We all know there's always those bogus calls, whatever they're here and there. But like these calls this past season were in crucial moments of the game, which changed the entire total of the totality of the ending. You could make the argument if those calls were made correctly and non-biased, Kansas City doesn't make the Super Bowl. Like they didn't deserve to make it if those calls were made correctly, which we could have possibly seen Lamar Jackson even the Bills. I think based off the Bills or even the Broncos make the Super Bowl. We don't know. I'm just saying if you
No,
look
I know, I know. I'm just saying.
everybody listening to me right now, go on YouTube and look up all the controversial calls on the Chiefs this past season. I'm not saying that it was all fixed or whatever. I'm just saying look at the calls and see how incredibly convenient it was that they were on the verge of losing and somehow a magical call comes out in their favor which helps them go win the game or lead off or just a game winner or field goal whatever to win the game. It is the most craziest thing I've ever seen. Not even Disney World has enough magic to create that. Like on some real stuff right now, bro.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, plus I'm not gonna lie though, John. When he said the Denver Broncos,
Bro, they were
yeah,
right there.
they were not right against Buffalo. They
Bro,
were
they
not right
lost
there.
because they beat them the last week because they sat on their starters, and then the one they lost was due to a field goal block.
I still remember the wild card game. I'm sorry. I still remember Denver getting blown out. That's all I know about Denver.
Hey, shout out to Bo Nix, baby.
Yep. Shout
Bobo,
out Bo
baby.
Nix. Shout out Bo Nix. And shout out to the gamblers out there. Shout out Cleveland. Shout out the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
I get it. Third shout out though, but again, that's very off topic, but still the story's insane.
I know. Well, guys, if you enjoyed us, you can follow us on our socials. Me, Kings Don't Stop or Jonko Don't Stop. You got Brandon. You can say yours if you like.
Yep. Brand H 2001 on Twitter, AKX.
And then you got us at Plug Talk Sports. If you go to our socials, you'll find our Instagram or X or YouTube, whatever you like. For if you have any recommendations or any topics that you would like us to talk about in future episodes, you let us know and we'll talk it out and we'll see maybe your idea comes to life, if you want us to do like a live stream of the certain NFL games, NBA games, baseball games, whatever, like I did with the NBA draft and the NFL draft, which was super fun. Loved you guys there. So yeah, if just let us know and we'll see what we can do. We love you guys and enjoy the rest of your night and thank you. Peace and don't forget, support the troops.